the Longxing and Peanut show when it comes to that particular game, and it was in fact the Lilia that was what Peanut was piloting. As there's the Zilean lock-in. Spica thinking about an Amumu, as that might be a shout out to our friend Cloud Templar, who is currently commentating the Korean broadcast of the World Championships as we speak. I spoke to him backstage, and I was like, "Are you worried about Gen G?" And he's like, "No, I'm worried about LCS." As Graves going to be the lock-in here, so it doesn't look like For Fun is really happening, but TSM wanting to go out with their playstyle intact. And of course, Bjergsen, a pretty standout Zilean player, even if it didn't necessarily work out against Gen G in their first outing. As Peanuts, Nidalee likely to be picked up, that will be locked away as we're looking for an AD top laner. Could of course just be a Camille, theoretically, out of Longxing right here, or they could take away a priority AD carry or support or something like that, and it is going to be Mark's Pantheon locked away here for LGD.
And I feel like the LGD draft right now with Nidalee and Orianna, now the Orianna is going up against Zilean, so she should be able to actually get control over the early stages of the laning phase, and so we'll see what Peanut's going to be able to do with that kind of freedom. Pantheon likely is going to be in the support role, probably not going to see any sort of flex shenanigans. Now Camille is being locked in for TSM, and so the bot laners still a little bit unknown. I'm curious where they're going to end up going.
Curious about what the bans are that LGD are going to throw out at them, as well as there's the Jax ban away from Longxing. Not going to want to see any of those Jax into Camille matchups that we've seen be pretty Jax favored, actually, in the couple of matches that we have seen, although nameplates do certainly play a part in that one. Tahm Kench going to be taken off the board here, as LGD do target Biofrost just a little bit. Senna still available, could likely be somewhere that TSM want to go. Senna has been very, very strong despite her loss in the previous game, as Electric Bear hits the bench. Not going to be seeing him out of Longxing.
And, well, let's see what the final ban is going to be here. It's going to be the Leona.
Okay, Mark's like, I've locked in my champion, and my opponent is not allowed to play any of theirs. Could make some sense. Could see DoubleLift just take away the center here, but the Ashe is also available. Looks like that is going to be the route that they're looking to take. It's now Kramer. What is he going to be playing? As I think might just be the center.
I think that they take the Ashe because it's a vacuum answer to the most common remaining marksman down in the bot lane, both the Senna and the Jhin. And Aurelia,
as it turns out,
is being hovered right now. Oh, now moving over to Jace. Now Shen.
Okay, Shen getting locked in towards the top side. That is going to be Longxing's answer to this Camille.
Taric isn't even bad here. I know that's a very uncommon support that we don't see a lot.
Yeah.
Thresh, though, is another answer to the Pantheon.
Flay can be very strong when he's trying to get in there with his stun, especially if it's used onto his lane partner, so don't mind it. But it is going to be the Freljordian bottom lane instead, as Ashe Braum to be locked away by TSM. And we've got double shields on the bottom side of the map. We'll see who's going to be able to keep their teammates alive the best. As these are going to be your compositions. LS, how are you feeling about both LGD and TSM coming out of this one?
Oh, I think it's no doubt in anyone's mind that TSM has a lot more scaling than LGD. My big worry is that TSM's their own greatest enemy in a lot of cases. And there definitely is a lot of explosiveness that can happen on the bottom side of the map that I think would offset the top side scaling. So things get a little bit scary. I don't feel that confident that TSM's going to manage to juggle the level 6.
Could certainly be dangerous. Also, LGD with the access to the double man drop. If Stand United is going to be used with the Grand Skyfall, means that they will have a lot of global flexibility with those two champions. Looking forward to seeing whether LGD can get things done in the earlier stages, because it was a very disappointing performance that they put up last time around. Now wanting to try and bounce back. However, the North American faithful will be behind TSM, who certainly don't want to be heading home with the record sitting as it is right now. An extra victory would certainly help, as far as keeping their eyes on the prize moving into 2021. You could imagine that both of these teams not necessarily in the greatest spirits, so I think that psychologically a lot's going to be going on in this particular game between these two, and it's who's able to keep their heads in it rather than letting results get to them. So we're doing these final checks to try and get into our 5th game of the day. Of course, groups haven't been sorted just yet. Still waiting to see whether it's going to be Fnatic or Gen G that are going to come out in that first place. But at the moment, it's looking a little bit like Fnatic.
Now,
we do have 3rd and 4th confirmed.
Yes, 3rd and
LGD and TSM.
3rd and 4th are indeed confirmed. Now, the important thing here for TSM is that they don't go winless. That is basically what they are trying to fight back against right now.
Yeah.
And so there is that on the line. As far as North America is concerned now, it all does come down to FlyQuest in Group D.
Yep.
To try to get out.
We're going to need as many trees planted as possible moving into our next group. A group that will be very, very difficult for North America, considering the other combatants. Top eSports have looked absolutely dominant. Even though a lot of people are talking about Damwon, I think that at least equally as dangerous is a team like Top. Derek's going to be in there as well. But let's focus back onto this match as we already have 40 seconds elapsed. So we hop into it. Some backs to come down. Checking the summoner spells to see whether anything has actually occurred. And the answer is no. So we do have a bit of a ward on the enemy Brambleback put down by Langx. The Surge and Shen, going back to some old favorites there when it comes to Shen skins. One of my personal favorites as well. The way that you used to be able to just throw scalpels at people when it was old Shen, just felt right to me.
True.
I liked it.
Did feel a lot better. TSM now, they're going to start off with clearing the vision inside of their own jungle. Bjergsen does get the ward, so he's already at 1 CS. Amazing.
There we go.
Before the lane's even started. Now, he also does hit level 2 now off the first wave.
Ooh, true.
So that is pretty nice. Xiye, understanding that Zilean has a really hard time farming underneath the turret, so I think he's going to try to just shove in really fast while the minions are at different layered HP values and make things really hard.
Yep, picks up that bomb as well just to deny its damage onto the minion wave and allow his shove to continue as Langx throws out some empowered autos onto Broken Blade. See, they're just sort of testing the waters here in this lane for the time being. Broken Blade probably happy to not have to deal with Langx's Renekton yet again. Last time around, it certainly wasn't an easy lane, and you can see right now things going much better for the TSM top laner.
Yeah, Broken Blade definitely has control over this lane so far. And Langx now finally going to ding level 2 himself. Peanut, meanwhile, down here, clearing the Wolf Camp. Not going to use any of the patience on it, which is a little bit surprising. It's one of the mini-games that I know China is very critical of.
Oh, yeah.
Like Ning's clear speed inside of the jungle. So Peanut with almost a full patience clear on the Wolves right there.
That's a virtue, is what I've heard said. So I don't mind it whatsoever. Hawkshot flies through, just trying to scout out Peanut, and he will be spotted. Great aim out of DoubleLift there. Not going to deter Peanut for the minute, as Bjergsen down to about 100 actually, as the clockwork wind-up is working. The flash forward, and there it is, first blood for Xiye's solo kill in the mid lane at 3 minutes.
And that is a very big solo kill. So many minions in front of the turret. Now Bjergsen is going to TP back, but now the wave is going to bounce back in. He has more than enough time. Xiye is going to be able to just come off the reset now with such an item advantage. It's going to be really hard now for Zilean to play.
Well, Langx getting shoved in here towards the top side. You can see Spica is in the area to try and put some pressure in. Looking for a potential dive, maybe. But it is difficult to lock down a Shen without something catastrophic going on. That taunt can be a big problem.
Yeah, it's not even just the turret that's the problem here for Spica. It's also that Shen's W is so effective against Braves. Oh!
Good hookshot time.
Really close call, yeah.
That's something that you certainly have to be wary of, and he absolutely played that well. And now the back going to come through from Langx. So far, early game advantage for LGD is Xiye, continuing to put pressure onto Bjergsen. See that health bar really not very high for Bjergsen
Yeah.
at the moment. He's getting a lot of pressure on him, landing the bombs, but command protect and the orb circulating Xiye is certainly going to help out. That extra armor and MR is actually a big deal in the early game.
Yeah.
For the Orianna. Try not to leave your ball in the lane when you're taking damage, guys. That's the PSA. As Peanut, he's going to hop out. Spica making his way around.
Ooh, the cannon. Yeah.
Oh man, this is so much pressure. Xiye almost dirty farming between mid lane turrets. That's not something I thought was possible. And of course, this is a difficult lane for the Zilean, but
yes.
after that solo kill, it is almost impossible.
And I think this is one of the highlights, actually, of Worlds, is when Bjergsen has picked a Zilean, unlike in North America, where he was winning lanes or almost going even in hard counter matchups. On the world stage, Orianna is getting the better end of him. Hold on.
Yeah, this is looking a little bit better. Shockwave comes through, the flash into it there as the exhaust comes down. The bomb is going to go on top of Xiye, and it is going to explode, but Xiye takes a while to die, and Spica is going to be the one that picks up the kill. So, 1-1 now in the earlier stages, and that is going to close the gold gap. Ooh. Regardless of how small it is.
A little bit of a freeze up here by Broken Blade.
Thought I felt a little bit chilly. Mark's looking to try and hold this wave for Xiye the best he can. Has himself the shield, but Spica comes down. End of the line might just be that, but no, Mark is going to survive for the minute.
Tried to hold as much as he possible. Oh, he's going to be able to give it over.
Wow, that's actually really important. The experience being the biggest part, but also being able to get the gold for it as well. Xiye doesn't actually lose as much as he possibly could have. As Langx in there, Spirit's Refuge actually to deny any sort of answer from Broken Blade, and that's going to win a trade for the LGD top lane. A flash forward, that's going to be the stun Spica, nailed by the spear, and Peanut going to help the support lock down the kill. Sometimes when you see supports getting kills, you feel bad, but when it's Pantheon, you don't feel as bad.
And also now they're able to exert a little bit of pressure onto Broken Blade in the top lane, who had been doing such a good job on his own accord in this Camille versus Shen matchup. And so currently as the game does stand, there's a small gold advantage for LGD. The bot lane, we haven't really been getting too many glimpses of it, and as I say that, we do finally pan down here. Kramer a little ahead in the CS department, but it's definitely not the end of the world.
I mean, Kramer hasn't had a lane partner for the last 2.5 minutes, so you'd probably say having a slight CS advantage is not what you would expect from the LGD AD carry. Mark is finally going to turn back up here towards the bottom lane as the dancing grenade looks to try and even out the lane state. Volleys even being avoided. As captive audience comes through to try and get a bit of extra damage down. Not going to be able to do anything there as the minions were the ones that procced it. As now TSM slink off into the river and look for this first Cloud Drake of the game at 7.5 minutes. Looks like they should be able to grab this uncontested. And LGD right now are aware of this, but yeah, there's no way they're going to be able to move over here. Ooh! Oh! Arrow connects. Great shield timing, but I don't think it's going to be enough as Mark is going to go down Biofrost. Grabbing that kill. They get the flash out of Kramer as well. That's going to be the lockdown. Spear almost connects, and the curtains have been called. Scoping out Biofrost, who I don't believe had the Unbreakable, and now just going to hold it for the minute. I do like the music, so I like it when our Jhin players do hold onto the curtain call.
It was really important that they get the kill at the time that they did, and Shen did not end up appearing down in bottom. And so I feel like TSM, they've really weathered the storm so far.
Langx looking for a little bit more of a battle here towards the top side. Guessed wrong for when Broken Blade was going to be answering back. Of course, precision protocol is a little bit more difficult when there's a Spirit's Refuge, and the mini game in this matchup is timing both of those abilities.
And everything that's happening right now, 4 minutes until the next Ocean Dragon, that's not another high priority dragon necessarily that either team wants to go out of their way to get. And so we'll see what the map state ends up looking like as we do near that. LGD, they are still ahead by about 1,000 gold. Now remember, TSM, it's assumed that they should be down. in the goal department. It's the way that the lanes are supposed to basically be going. They're supposed to be bleeding some CS, some EXP, likely some turret plate. So the gold score is not totally indicative of what's really happening in the game. TSM are really in a pretty fine spot, all things considered.
Yep, it's not the end of the world. However, LGD, if they continue on their current course, it's certainly looking good for them as the game goes on. But I'm glad you bring that up, because of course, scaling is something that can make the gold at the top of the screen feel a little bit misleading, and is of course the case here. Bjergsen hasn't been pushed out of too much CS. I believe even Nidalee set caused more of a CS discrepancy than Xiye's Orianna has in this particular game. So not absolutely terrible. And that TSM versus Gen G game was pretty competitive, to be perfectly honest. It's Biofrost down here, just clearing out vision where he can. DoubleLift taking care of the minion wave. TSM have somewhat stabilized. It's Peanuts making another pass through his jungle, probably heading towards his Grump next to make sure he's taken as many of the camps as possible. And Kramer has been zoned entirely away from this outer turret.
Not a whole lot able to really go on unless LGD consent to it. Kramer coming in. Does land that deadly flourish.
Yeah, exactly. Stun comes down onto Biofrost, but that is pretty good unbreakable. The shields are going to come down. Arrow connects there from DoubleLift as collateral damage. And a bomb onto Mark. Flash forward and DoubleLift grabs the kill with a volley. He did the calculation and got there in the end. Single man shockwave, but that is going to net them a kill. Peanut grabs that one, and now DoubleLift is going to be taken down as well. Xiye going to get rewarded in the end.
Ooh.
Some extra experience going over to the Spica, but that is just on the way out. As Peanut spots out the Graves, collects himself a bomb as well, and LGD continue with pressure after that.
The unfortunate thing about DoubleLift flashing forward for the kill, yes, they get a kill and an assist, but obviously comes at the cost of his flash, which he's not going to have now for the dragon fight, if that even takes place. They immediately die shortly thereafter, and now DoubleLift misses out on all of these waves of EXP. So it's not just the kill gold that ends up being lost out on. Herald goes out into mid lane, does a ton of damage to it. Zilean's tier 1 turret being almost gone before plates have even really dissipated is not a good sign for TSM. It's going to be very difficult to stabilize the mid part of the game, because you would assume that that tier 1 turret would still be up in a control mage versus control mage matchup.
Definitely should be, and the matchup is a lot more important in this particular game. The Zilean can certainly decide a lot as this game goes on. Lands here towards the top side. It's Broken Blade, slightly caught out of position, looks for the stun, doesn't quite get it there onto Langx. However, it doesn't really matter. It's just looking to try and get trades where he can. Both of these top laners not feeling under too much threat at this particular point in time. As this one continues. Bottom side of the map, Storm Razor completed by Kramer. 107 to 109 as DoubleLift has brought back the CS. And only 002 here for Kramer so far, so a bit of a quiet game for him. And a turret plate going over to DoubleLift is certainly good news for TSM. Xiye clearing out the mid lane, and they're not going to look for any extra pressure. So the game's certainly slowing down.
Yeah, the game is absolutely slowing down quite a bit right now. LGD, they are up about 2,000 gold. And when you look at the levels across the board, they're up 1 in top lane, 1 in mid lane. And I'm not really quite sure exactly how close both the junglers are, but do remember that Bjergsen has given over some EXP to Spica. So...
Shockwave. Okay, Bjergsen might have to throw out the Chrono Shift, as he's going to hold it until the very last second, and in fact, that second doesn't actually come. So, second Drake taken by TSM in the meantime, and it is going to be a Mountain Rift here today, as Peanut almost gets caught out by the little rock coming up there, and Spica is going to have to use his flash to get out of the way of the pincer move between Pantheon and Nidalee.
And he goes back into...
Biofrost. Unbreakable to deny that particular pick, as Peanut not quite able to get the smite. So that's good news for TSM. Small victories. They're small, but not insignificant, as Langx looks for some cheeky autos there onto Broken Blade, who's going to get slowed down. Tactical sweep coming on in. But yeah, I mean, the more I commentate these top lane skirmishes, the less I realize the more I realize that it's not all that important.
I'm really curious what the grass stacks are on both of these two parties right now, because they have really been hitting each other.
Yeah, that's like the true deciding factor of this matchup. How many have been denied by the Spirit's Refuge? Maybe that's a question we could ask. But even then, it's not very important, ladies and gentlemen. I think elsewhere on the map is going to be the best thing to watch out for, as both of these top laners are going to be aiming for very different things as these games go on. I mean, Shen is a split pusher, but only because he can get to his team at a moment's notice. Camille's a split pusher because she can murder turrets very, very comfortably. So if you leave her alone, she's going to be very, very scary. And let's see how both TSM and LGD are going to utilize their topside solo laners as the game progresses. A couple of dragons going over to TSM is definitely good news. Mountain Soul in about, you know, theoretically 8 minutes time, or very close to. The spear going to go a little bit wide there. Aimed out by Peanut, as LGD are wanting to take down this outer turret. And like you illustrated before, this is a big deal.
Yes. And the problem with it now is that the vision play around mid is going to be a little bit more difficult for TSM, because normally you would assume, again, well, hold on.
Well,
hold that thought.
This is a lot of people moving towards the top side as Langx realizes it. Spirit's Refuge actually does mitigate a lot of damage, but the double bomb comes down. Broken Blade is going to grab that kill, and it looks like TSM had enough of this gentleman's agreement on the top side of the map.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure why he flashed there, given that Broken Blade had Hextech Ultimatum. So no matter what, he would get locked up regardless and just end up being brought down. But anyways, LGD, at the end of it all, Kramer now, he's going to get the solo turret proximity gold as well as the turret capture for his team there on the bottom side. Spica is starting the second Rift Herald.
Ooh, turret also going to go down here. 4 members. And DoubleLift off to the side for TSM. Broken Blade lying in wait. Seeing whether he can start something off here, as the arrow is going to connect towards the backside. Double taunt is huge by Langx though, as Spica gets himself out of the way with the collateral damage. Meanwhile, Broken Blade dives into the backline. The shockwave used just to try and get rid of the Camille, as the curtains have been called. First 2 shots are going to miss, but the third one's good onto DoubleLift. Broken Blade sniped, as well as Peanut has to get the heck out of there. Looks for another spear, but the Unbreakable is good. No! Kramer locking down the second one for himself. And LGD now have TSM cornered underneath their turret. Chrono Shift still on cooldown. And Peanut still stalking his prey. Bjergsen just locking up what he can. Spica didn't quite know where to walk, but is going to be safe in the end. And LGD are going to win a fight and look for their third turret of the game.
And what looked like was going to be the start of some good news for TSM just turns around so quickly. And LGD now, they raise yet another turret, and they extend their lead to just over 4,000 gold here at 17 minutes. And this is very problematic for TSM, because also Mountain Dragons are coming up. So we take a look at this. Stand United in on Pantheon. He goes in onto Biofrost, lines up perfectly for the Shen taunt. Broken Blade with some really good execution over the ledge. Hextech Ultimatum, they didn't quite have the ability to kill Xiye. Everyone from TSM was thinking that they were going to disengage. Some of the curtain call bullets ended up whipping. Peanut tries to go in. Little bit of mechanical footsies going on between these two teams, and Kramer with just a beautiful deadly flourish yet again.
And I actually, like, oftentimes you see a lot of value coming out of a Zilean when a team is very all-in with their team fights, right? When they've got a lot of abilities to land you on top of your opponent, not quite as many to get out, as I might have to hold my thought as Broken Blade looking for a bit of a fight here, finds the hook shot, dives on top of Peanut, but misses the stun. And the Chrono Shift is going to get there at the very last instance, but it's not going to be enough. Pull back with the shockwave, and a little bit overly aggressive there by Broken Blade as LS looks very, very confused as to why that just happened.
And the thing that's so bizarre about it is that Mountain Dragon is up, and they're randomly going for something like that. Now, Xiye as well.
Yeah, Flash does come through to get himself out of the way of the arrow, but he still takes a lot of damage. Kramer looks for another deadly flourish, but misses it. Gets 6 points in my particular country when he's playing football, but however, not going to get anything when it comes to League of Legends. It's Peanut. He's looking for this Mountain Drake, the first dragon for LGD of the game. Mark's going to be there to play goalie, and Shen's pushing out the bottom lane. This is going to go over to LGD very comfortably. and head us towards a 5,000 gold lead for the LPL team in their final game at Worlds.
And this is just very, very unfortunate for TSM, because had TSM gotten a mountain instead of the cloud and then LGD just got a cloud dragon, it's not as painful. But now that LGD are the ones that they were fortunately in control of the game at the spawn of the mountain dragons, now they capture it. It's very brutal because they're getting very, very good combat stats for their team. And then in addition to this, I mean, Graves, he's going the lethality build. Every little point of armor that the enemy gets is that much more painful for you.
Yeah. Oh, man. LGD now pushing into TSM's jungle, trying to deny everything that they can. It's a suffocating playstyle that you have the luxury of doing when you're this far ahead. And Peanut looking to try and grab the Bramble back away from Spica as well. See whether Spica's going to be able to grab it. And he does. End of the line smite going to be able to lock that one down. As Broken Blade finds himself a control ward. LGD know that he's slightly out of position looking for that flank. As Shirley going to pop her head up out of the river and just march towards this inner turret. As TSM look to defend, looks like they are going to be able to now, as the spear not going to find DoubleLift. Deadly Flourish as well going to be avoided. And Shirley, like we say, is not going to be able to find too much. Smark looking for some poke. LGD's dash in, dash out comp just makes it so comfortable playing around even the frustrations of the Zilean chrono shift, meaning that, you know, if you pick someone out, but then you're just in a team fight, does mean that things can be difficult. As there's the curtains, they have been called. Looking for Biofrost there in the back line. That's a bit of some wanted bullet bending there from Kramer, but not able to lock down the kill onto Biofrost.
Things are going very well right now for LGD. TSM are just trying to buy themselves more and more time to continue to scale up. Camille still ways away from getting to the point where she's going to become a very scary menace. Bjergsen doesn't even have a second core item completed yet. Rod of Ages, still 2 minutes left until it hits max stack.
Yep, did manage to get it though, so that's certainly the time gate taken care of for the Zilean. Probably sitting on a bit of gold as well, as he's just looking to try and get as much into the coffers as possible before the next team fight. As Biofrost going to get slowed down, Unbreakable. Going to be reactionary, not exactly in time. As now Mark has to flash, actually, a little bit overly aggressive as the arrow sails by majestically. A slight walk south was what LGD used in order to avoid that one. The Baron was poked, but not going to be committed to at this point in time.
Well, 2 minutes until that Mountain Dragon's going to come up. And if LGD gets that one, 12% increased resistances as champions are nearing max level, so the resistances are going to be at their highest for the amplification. It's going to be very obnoxious for TSM, especially because they're all about sustained, persistent damage in their team comp. It's not a pick comp or anything of that nature, so lots of value going to be there for LGD.
Yeah, and LGD just have so many poke options as well. Even, you know, the Pantheon having his spear that he can throw out, so Peanut can just fish for opportunities where he sees fit, and then LGD can time when they want to go in, and Langx always has his ultimate to make sure that everyone stays safe. As back going to come through from Broken Blade, we'll see what he can actually afford. Looks like Ravenous Hydra is going to be the next item that he's looking for. It's now in the base. Not quite going to be there just yet. Mr. Caulfield's Warhammer to augment the rest of his build. Looks like he might just be leaving the Tiamat there, heading towards something like a Death Stance. Deadly Flourish. Very nice snipe. Make sure that Kramer can get all the experience and gold from these minions.
Well,
I want to ask you a question, Ellen.
Go ahead.
I was just wondering about the percentage chance of TSM winning this game. Do you have it?
Ooh, yeah, I think, no, I don't.
What are we looking at? I just want to know the situation. How worried should we be?
I would, like, if you ask, you know, my life depended on it, I would say less than 5%.
Less than 5?
Yeah. I'm curious what Tim would say on Twitter if you've been following his bots predictions.
Oh.
Evaluating the game state.
No, I haven't seen that. I have seen this team fight start off as Biofrost taking a bit of damage. Spica, oh, not going to get hit by that one, but the curtains come on through, and that is going to be one of the not hitting. Last bullet going to connect onto Biofrost, but no one on TSM is going to be taken down just yet. This is a fight around this second Mountain Drake that LGD do have positional advantage on, and TSM not feeling strong enough to fight it, and I do not blame them.
And LGD getting this next dragon, I mean, they just draw closer and closer. It is still 10 minutes until the Mountain Soul, which is more than enough time for Zilean to get to third item, Camille to get to third item, but at what cost are they going to end up just giving up everything on the map? They're not in a position to really fight right now, although Kramer...
Yeah, unfortunately, Arrow is going to miss there from DoubleLift. Good flash comes out to avoid it by Kramer. Is now Broken Blade looking for something. The rest of LGD just going to back away, and their disengage has just been flawless this game. Whenever TSM look like they want to fight, LGD are like, no, I'm sorry. It's just not happening today.
They're doing a very good job at controlling basically all the sideways. LGD right now.
Ooh, Spica. Deadly Flourish is going to connect. Spear goes through. Bjergsen blocks it. Nicely done. TSM still feeling on the ropes, though.
You get a little bit of an ARAM happening here.
It is.
Yeah.
Both of these teams are in China, but experiencing the NARAM, although we kind of took it in Korea.
Oh, we had the KRAM as well.
The KRAM was far more prevalent. I do definitely want to shout out the LCS. Weren't necessarily ARAMing as much as we were in seasons past. But in this game, that was a lot of time spent in mid.
Yeah.
Bit of a revisit to the NARAM.
And it looks like all the utility items are there on the side of LGD. They're fully equipped for a team fight, if it would end up happening. Although they're so close to completed core items. If you just look at their inventory right now, it would be a little bit bizarre if they're really gonna insist on a fight.
Arrow connects onto the Shen, not exactly. Oh! Three-man shockwave in the back line! Deadly Flourish locks down one, and TSM, they are running for the hills. Spica battling here against Mark, and not exactly winning out here. Jungle versus support as TSM limp away from Xiye's orb.
And just now, TSM, they're forced to go on the full retreat. DoubleLift, no summoner spells, and now LGD, they have total control with what they want to do. They're actually not going to start the Baron. And this is what I was mentioning, in that Jhin, so close to his completed item. You have Xiye and Nidalee very close as well. I think that Langx, I don't know if he's going for the Warmogs, or if he's just going to go for the Knight's Vow and go down the supportive route.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens there. There's the third item completed for the Jhin.
Oh, Xiye is so close to Zhonya's as well. This is 3 items coming through from 2 of the most notable 3-item champions in Orianna and the Jhin. Jhin with these particular ones collected. Very similar to a lot of our crit AD carries, but he's no exception, absolutely. As Grand Skyfall comes through, that is going to be the Stand United compared with it, as that is going to be the Chrono Shift having to be used very, very early in this fight onto Bjergsen himself. In goes Broken Blade. They're looking for Mark. He's very low, and that is going to be the Hextech Ultimatum that locks down the Pantheon. Now Langx gonna have to taunt himself out of there as Biofrost does follow willingly, and now Broken Blade gonna go into his stopwatch. For Langx, he doesn't really care. He's got himself the Spirit's Refuge, keeps him alive for so long as now Spica comes in, but collateral damage not going to be able to do enough to take down anyone more, and only Mark is going to fall after that one.
And Jhin definitely sounds scary, which is
Yes.
walking away. Now, Kramer was not there, basically, during the fight when it was at its peak moment. So, a little bit overzealous was LGD. DoubleLift, no summoners, no Enchanted Crystal Arrow.
All 4 bullets are going to land.
Okay.
Deadly Flourish as well. Okay, Kramer, chill out, mate. We get it. You can hit every skill shot. Well played. DoubleLift is going to survive, however. And it does mean that he has to go for a reset here. And 50 seconds now on the Mountain Drake. He should be able to get back as Bjergsen speeds himself up. Super Soaker comes in and does get the flash out of Peanut, who will have another pounce available if another bomb does come down. But that is a very valuable flash to come out from Bjergsen, who's coming alive now on this Zilean.
We'll see if he can manage to keep TSM alive inside of this game, because all the pressure is on him.
Now Spica going to get tagged by the Spear. LGD now having to deal with a mid lane minion wave. It's going to give TSM some priority around this Mountain Drake that's going to be spawning in 12 seconds time. More experience, level 15 now given over to Spica. Peanut going to be in a experience deficit thanks to the Zilean. Good news. Longxing very tanky right now. Looks like it might be a Spirit Visage potentially coming in next. We'll have to see exactly what that item is going to be. Mark looks for the stun, does get it down there, but stand beside me, going to be in for Biofrost. That is going to be the dragon taken by DoubleLift of all people. TSM did have control of the pit. Peanut goes for the smite, doesn't quite find it. In fact, this Worlds has not really been the greatest for Peanut's ability to smite.
And this is definitely scary because the gold graph, I mean, you take a look at it on our screen, it is stagnating very hard, and this is a TSM wonderland when things of this nature are happening. Spica does not have smite. I think they're aware of that.
Well, he's still going to try and get in there, but collateral damage not going to be enough, and Peanut is going to be able to secure the Baron. Broken Blade still trying to dive in, doesn't get the stun, but does find Hextech ultimate. Two-man shockwave onto some very high priority members as the chrono shift is out already, and now the curtain call comes in. Hook shot out from Broken Blade, looking to try and escape this one as the final bullet barely too short there onto Biofrost. TSM do intelligently move over and will be able to take down this outer turret in the mid lane, and now they're looking for a fight. Arrow comes in, they're looking for Longxing first as they're fighting this one front to back, but LGD are going to survive, not taking very much damage. TSM not going to bite off more than they can chew, and that's just LGD. I mean, there was a fight in there somewhere, but the result is Baron for LGD.
Yeah. And so they do manage to extend their gold a little bit, so we'll see how this Red Bull Baron power play is going to turn out for them in the end. But Bjergsen, he's almost level 16. Camille, almost likewise, going to be level 16 as well. And we're reaching the point where Orianna, she's going down the utility item route. And so because she picked up the Morello and then the Zhonya's, she's lacking a lot of just raw power inside of her inventory. Shen, all of his items are now just becoming utility. It seems like he's going every which way. Picks up the Kindle Gem, doesn't get the Knight's Vow. So he's just sitting on 200 HP and some CDR. Maybe now he's going Locket of the Iron Solari. Nidalee picks up the Void Staff. But it's really coming down to Jhin. Even Pantheon, he's been stuck on the same items for a very long time. TSM are just consistently getting stronger. Graves almost has Mortal Reminder.
And DoubleLift now has his 3 items completed as well. A cheeky extra crit cloak also. As Peanut gonna get tagged, but Deadly Flourish comes out onto Biofrost as well. Unbreakable is now on cooldown, which is important as DoubleLift takes half of his health bar from one spear. I guess that's why you build a Void Star third on the Nidalee. That did a heck of a lot of damage. In the meantime, Broken Blade's taking down an inner turret in the mid lane though, as Longxing does come back and looks to try and stop that one. LGD continuing the siege. And Kramer finding another curtain call opportunity. Biofrost going to be there with the Unbreakable. So we get to listen to the music for a little while longer. Waits out the Unbreakable there, but doesn't find the last bullet. They will be able to find the turret regardless. And this is just going to be LGD brute forcing through the bottom lane. Going to be able to take that inhibitor without any response by TSM.
And now the inhibitor going down isn't necessarily the end of the world if you are a TSM fan. This provides basically a lane that's now going to funnel them in gold. The only way that this inhibitor comes back to bite them, given that they have a Camille who has teleport available, is if they somehow take a catastrophic team fight and die, and LGD can end through it. Yeah. But realistically, this should just be a gold and an experience funnel.
Wow. Okay.
Brownie's comment.
Picking the gap. Absolutely. That one is going to drift majestically around the globe that is Runeterra, as I recently learned.
Yeah. I'm glad you've been keeping up.
Thank you, thank you.
On your reading.
Yeah, well, I mean, after our first day of Worlds, I mean, you blew my mind with that information. That means I'm always aware that there could be enchanted crystal arrows coming from any which way, considering how many have been fired off the side of the map. I just liked the idea that it was flat, you know, heading off into nothingness, and then I'd never have to worry about them again. It's Broken Blade. Just dealing with super minions, certainly equipped to do so.
Yep.
As is GA. So basically double GA. This Chrono Shift going to be there for Bjergsen if they are going to team fight around the Camille. It's a lot of extra lives.
And here's one of the other things about that inhibitor being down. It's in close proximity to the major neutral that is the Mountain Drake that's coming up. And this is also Soul Point. So, doesn't look like TSM maybe are that interested. Oh no, I think they are. Bjergsen is speeding his way down here. They gotta be really careful though. They don't have, oh, whoa. Okay, well that's balanced. And LGD trying to poke them out right now with Nidalee. Langx coming over from the left-hand side. He has a natural given flank. No teleport needed for this one.
Yeah, Broken Blade thought that he was in position for a flank as well, but it has... Starting to think like LGD figured that one out. Deadly Flourish is somehow going to connect. Hitbox question mark, as that is going to be the Hextech ultimatum. SGA might be going down. Good arrow is going to connect, but Kramer going to flash on over. He's going to join the Camille, try and take her down first in this fight, but the Chrono Shift is going to get in there. As Bjergsen's going to help him out. He's still alive in this fight, as Mark may not be so lucky. Collateral damage ties him up there. As Bjergsen's so close to death, but he's going to keep himself alive. Now Langx looking for DoubleLift and will find him. Broken Blade trying to hookshot his way out, but may not be able to get there. The spear will connect. Spica, can they get this 2v2 is the question, as there's the stun, smoke screen, try and get the Nidalee out of there. Langx is very, very tanky. Spirit's Refuge is busted in this instance. And Broken Blade is eventually going to have the precision and the protocol to be able to grab the Shen. As Peanut's still looking for it, and this is the cutest little game of cat and mouse, or cat and graves, I guess. The smoke screen going to deny Peanut one more time. Collateral damage thrown down there. In the meantime, LGD, by the way, are winning the game. But this is fun. This part towards the bottom side of the map. This is what we want to see. As they are going to find Peanut, and that spear is not going to connect. The kitty cat lady just going to disappear.
And Peanut now is going to turn his attention.
It was the other way around. I'm getting all thrown out of whack because this game is just insane.
What a chaotic series of events. That's going to be the third dragon going over. And everyone has a lot of resistances right now that are getting some nice amplification. So
it's very mountainous.
Yeah.
Over LGD's way. Not entirely sure what their gaming house is, but it might be in the Alps, somewhere in China.
What a chaotic fight. Now, I feel like the game is still now neck and neck, though. Inhibitor in bottom lane, because of that Nexus turret did almost end up falling in the base. But TSM were able to hang on to it. And now it looks like everyone's just cleaning up the waves right now. They don't want to lose any team fight and then lose the game. But hold on, we got a teleport.
Yeah, we got the Hail Mary to come through from TSM. They're looking for Xiye, who's now alone in an alcove. He does have Shockwave. He finds it on absolutely no one. And TSM will be able to lock down the Orianna. If that's not a panic Shockwave, then I've never seen one in my life.
Oh, no. No.
Are we looking for the back door? Is it happening?
Jhin in Pantheon.
Are we going to trade Baron for Nexus? That has never been a good one.
Oh no.
As LGD trying to keep them here.
Oh no.
Yeah, Curtain Goal gonna come in. And yes, TSM, you did manage to get a Baron, but can you get out of here is the question. Empowered recalls are gonna come through, but there are no turrets left remaining. One comes back, there are 4 people here. Can Langx do it? Is the question, as Peanut's gonna go golden. A few more auto attacks, and this one's gonna go down. Stage United keeps Peanut alive, and LGD do it. They trade Nexus for the Baron, and that's going to get them the victory. This game came down to pride, but damn, it was exciting.
I'm blown away at the ending, Atlas. It looked like TSM were going to actually stabilize, get the Baron, have that persist into the Mountain Soul, and probably win the game. Their team comp was at the stage where it was vastly superior in a straight-up 5v5.
Yeah, that wasn't exactly the Red Bull Baron power play that you were looking for on TSM's side, but I do understand why they're going for it, right? Because sometimes you get that point of desperation where you just need to make a call and commit to it, and Baron-empowered recalls are a thing. They did manage to get 4 people back there, but unfortunately, the Shen, the Spirit's Refuge, the denial of all of that damage, and Peanut also being there with a Lich Bane meant that the Nexus just did not stand for long enough.
No, and What a heartbreaking loss. It really did look like they were going to be able to clutch that one out, but LGD, even Peanut, at the very end of it, didn't look super relieved. Like, the game was a little bit sloppy, pretty much, given everything that was unfolding, but they managed to clutch it out in the end, and what a send-off.
Yeah,
for both
actually,
these two teams.
It was very exciting on LGD's side. We know that they're an exciting team. We were watching them since play-ins here on the world stage, and we know what they're capable of. It's the consistency that hasn't really worked out. Unfortunately, it means a 0-6 for TSM in this group. It was going to be a really difficult group for them just in general. I mean, I think a lot of people thought that they might be bottom of this group after, you know, everything shook out as the group draw came in, but it's never going to feel good to be a first seed in a group like this and come out 0-6.
No. And I mean, if you're TSM, this is, like you're mentioning, it was a very hard group. Fnatic, Gen.G, LGD, all of those teams are very strong. A lot of people slated this as the group of death. And so TSM had 2 very close games. So they had that going for them. They even, I think in a different world, probably win this one.
Yeah. I mean, I actually thought that you were talking about how close this game theoretically was, right? Even when it was a 7,000 gold lead, there was a chance that TSM could turn it around, given their composition just wasn't quite enough. And in the end, it was a very, very exciting finish. But, ladies and gentlemen, when we return, we've got the LCK's Gen.G returning to the stage opposite the LEC's Fnatic, and you do not want to miss it. Fnatic are looking so strong.